What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. I am your host, Chris Raybon. NFL week number 6 is here, and today I'm joined by one of the most accurate rankers in the game, Sean Koerner. I am joined by touchdown savant Gilles Gallant, and we are going to give you touchdown bets for every game on the Sunday slate and the Monday slate, including the early Denver Jets game out in London. We're going to start with that, but Koerner, I'll come to you in a second, but Gilles, how are you feeling heading into this week? You know, you always ask these thoughtful questions when we're doing Action Playbook Live. So, how does your touchdown process kind of change as we get into, week 6 here? Now we're like a third of the season through.
Yeah, I think you guys hit it on the head when we talk about this in Action Playbook Live in the intro about more data. It just only helps to be able to determine, tendencies, angles that we could find. And, we're in week 6 now. Some of these teams, they're just battered with injuries. So now there's even more opportunity, maybe down the depth chart where you could find some more better touchdown odds. That kind of stuff wasn't really available to us, in week 1 and week 2. So now where we're at in week 6, I think just there's even more opportunity in the anytime touchdown market for all of us.
Yeah, and Sean, is there anything kind of special you do? I know you have like a lot of different processes. Anything kind of catch your eye here? Are you buying low on guys? Is the data just kind of crystallizing things? What's going on with you in the touchdown?
Yeah, I mean we're in mid-season form right now. So I got some buy low opportunities here, and if you're wondering why I have the Carson Wentz outfit here with the Giants hat and the Mac Jones jersey, I swore to everybody that if Mac Jones came back from the dead last Thursday Night Football and cleared his pass attempt prop, I would buy a Mac Jones jersey and I would wear it as soon as it came in. So it just came in. So there, take that. Nobody believed me, but yeah. He's my favorite.
I don't think anybody believed in the Niners either.
Yeah, no, that was a legendary performance by Mac last week. So I owed it to him to buy this jersey. So hence the Carson Wentz get up here.
I mean, why wouldn't they believe you? Of course, if you want to bet, this is free. It's like a free prove everyone wrong. Yeah, nothing's even coming.
Yeah, he was at 20. I had over 31.5 pass attempts. He was down on the ground in pain. He already had that PCL injury heading in. Down on the ground in pain at 25 pass attempts, and he threw 24 more the rest of the game for them to have that win. With everybody was out. Legendary performance a week ago to today. So to commemorate that, again, I'm wearing the Mac jersey today.
All right, we're going to get into the NFL Week 6 slate, and we'll kind of alternate giving our favorite players from each game to find the end zone. We will also get some parlays set up for Sunday and Monday Night Football that we'll track in the Parlay Express account on the Action Network app. So be sure you have that downloaded and be sure you are following that account as well. Before we get into all of these touchdowns, I will toss it over to myself for a word from our sponsor. The Action Network podcast is sponsored by DraftKings, and in partnership with DraftKings, we'd like to tell you that the next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. That's right. New customers turn $5 into $200 if your bet wins, paid instantly in bonus bets. To get started, use promo code Action Network when signing up. Once more, use Action Network when signing up with DraftKings to get on board. The crown is yours. All right, man. Probably the least and most exciting thing that happens in the middle of the NFL season every year when you work in this industry is there's football super early, but you got to get up and really be on top of rankings. This week we have, as I mentioned, the Broncos and the Jets. Jets, the lone winless team. Gilles, where you're looking in Jets Broncos. I think didn't we just have this last year? I feel like deja vu.
Yeah, I mean, well, the one player who was not involved in that game was Justin Fields, and I think we have to go right back to him on the Jets side. I don't really think there's much else that you can really expect of him other than to scramble. Now, he's got 3 rushing touchdowns this year. Didn't score last week versus the Cowboys, but it wasn't really a good matchup for him to scramble, mainly because the Cowboys really neutralize that. They play a ton of zone, whereas on the flip side, the Broncos this week play the most man coverage in the NFL, which obviously just leads to more quarterback rushing upside. And this year, if you look at who Fields has scored against, it's versus teams that play more man coverage. Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, Also, our guy Nick Giffen, he loves this bet. He gave me this nugget to give out on the show. Fields has only faced man defense on 16.3% of his dropbacks. Well, his adjusted net yards per dropback are nearly triple when he faces man compared to zone. So now we've got the Denver Broncos who play a ton of man coverage. So I love the upside on Justin Fields to rush for a touchdown on this defense. On the Broncos side, this guy, whenever I bet him, it never feels good. I will say this, but it's Evan Engram. Just because of the history that we've had with him with New York and in Jacksonville. But I think that this is a system in Denver where he's going to be used even more as a pass-catching threat because he scored last week versus the Eagles. It looks to be fully recovered from that calf injury that came back in week 2. He's second on the team in targets in both games since he came back. And the Jets have been awful versus tight ends this year. They rank last in defensive DVOA versus the position. They've given up 4 touchdowns to tight ends in just the last 2 games, 2 to Darren Waller, 2 to Jake Ferguson. And just reading some of the coach speak, Sean Payton talked about that game, but also as Evan Engram wanting to play him in kind of that more Joker, Jimmy Graham role in this offense. And to bring anybody back to what Jimmy Graham was in that offense, just a touchdown machine. Now, I'm not going to put him in that same realm, but Evan Engram right now is around plus 375. So that's the guy who I'm looking at on the Broncos side and Justin Fields on the Jets side.
Oh, man. Evan Engram. Koerner already knows what I would have to do to bet Evan Engram. I would have to also hedge by betting Adam Troutman and
Nate Atkins.
And Nate Atkins at even longer odds because I'm telling you, it's just never the tight end you think with Sean Payton, period.
And if I could nominate a guy who will be the AD Mitchell or Amari DeMarcado, Engram, I feel like is going to maybe kick me in the behind on that one. Sorry, not the kind of.
I would take the under on that. I'm going to say there's not one of those for another at least 4 or 5 years. I would say. Koerner, is that good odds?
No,
I'm saying four and a half years.
Yeah, it's so weird how common it actually is. You would think that like everybody would just collectively go, let's stop doing that, but you're just in the moment. Sometimes you don't know where the goal line is. I'm going to take under. You're giving me even odds?
Okay. Yeah, I know it's happened, 3 times in the past 2 seasons, but that seems like an outlier. So, yeah. I don't know.
Every team has had a meeting this week. Yeah, every team has to have a meeting about it this week. So I bet it'll cool off, hopefully, the next few weeks. But I bet we see another one in the next 4 years.
You just never learn. That's just the worst. Yeah. I can't man. All right. Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers, and got to go with Ryan Flanoy for the Cowboys. I know there's still some uncertainty as what his role is going to be. I expect CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin to be held out or severely limited for this week. That's what they've kind of been talking up. So I think Flanoy now kind of put himself in a position where he may even jump Jalen Tolbert for snaps. He was just so good, had over 100 yards in the first half alone. Tolbert was still taking certain situational snaps over Flanoy, like red zone. But, he's run, I think, 24 routes and 0 catches on 3 targets in the red zone for Tolbert this year. He's been good in the past there, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see things kind of flip here. So I just want to get ahead of this. And you're also getting potentially a rush attempt or 2, which is always helpful in these touchdown markets because a lot of times those are designed to kind of spring a guy into the end zone. So like Flanoy on the Cowboys side. And then for the Panthers, similarly murky, but with this guy, I think if he does, if he's for some reason not going to be one of the top 5 wide receivers, which I've kind of played with this in my head, I think he's probably just going to be a healthy scratch, and that's Jimmy Horn Jr. But he's 8-1, and I want to get ahead of this because I think there's a possibility that even if Jalen Coker is activated and comes back, that they could potentially cut like a guy like Renfro or deactivate him because we saw them cut him early to start the year. And they said they want to give Horn a bigger role now after his play last week. He's one of the few guys on that team with speed. They were giving him rush attempts. So another guy that I expect to be active is the 5th receiver, getting about 25-30% of the dropbacks, just kind of like a Bryson Tremaine type and some gadget looks. So like Horn at 8-1 and Flanoy at 3-1. This is truly a an old school shout to our guy not here at the company anymore, but Chad Millman probably doesn't know who either of these guys are. Jill, no, Koerner, you're up next. Yeah, who are we looking at here?
I don't know if everybody knows who this guy is, but I'm going to go with Ollie Gordon for the Dolphins at plus 440. 6'2", 225-pound rookie running back. Achane really isn't a power back, so heading into the season, I thought it'd be, Gordon or Alexander Madison, competing to be the goal line back. And then once, Madison suffered that season-ending injury in preseason, I kind of figured it was Gordon's job to lose. And you wouldn't know it because it's the Dolphins, and they've only had 3 rush attempts inside the 5-yard line this year, but 2 of those were from Gordon. So I think it's safe to say he's the preferred goal line back. He scored on one of those rush attempts. And usually, goal line back shouldn't be priced over plus 400, no matter how horrible the offense is. So I'm going to go with Gordon here on the Dolphins side at plus 440. And then on the Chargers side, I really wanted to go back to the well on Orlando Gadsden the second. But he's plus 400, and Will Disley's back this week. So, Raybon, I know we've been talking about this. Really unsure how this tight end room's going to kind of sort itself out with Disley back in action. So I'm going to take a week off of Gadsden to scoring here. And who knows, maybe he'll be the one that drops the ball on the inch line this week. So good thing I'm not betting on him if that's the case. But I'm going to go with Ladd McConkey here at plus 210. Ladd's been hurt a ton this year with Quentin Johnston's mega breakout season. And Quentin Johnston's always been kind of Herbert's preferred target in the end zone anyway, but also having Keenan Allen back in the mix, Herbert still loves targeting him. Ladd's sometimes the third target in this wide receiver room, which is crazy because he's still one of the best, up and coming receivers out there. He's in year 2. So I think it's a potential buy low spot for him at plus 210. And this is a matchup against the Dolphins where, the Chargers, they lost Amarian Hampton to the IR. So he's out 4+ games. They might be able to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns here. So everybody might get a touchdown. So I like getting Ladd here at plus 210. I just think it's a good time to kind of buy low on him here.
Yeah. And not to mention, Ladd got a punt return touchdown called back. And the Dolphins' special teams has not been great either. I think it was that game against the Patriots where they gave up a return touchdown. So, yeah, a lot of ways for the Ladd to get it done here for us. All right, who we got up next? Jill, I'm going to you. Seahawks at Jags. This should be a good game, a lot better game than maybe some people thought heading into the year. What are you looking at in this spot?
Yeah, I locked this in Tuesday morning. Pretty much as soon as I watched Kareem Hunt run for 2 touchdowns on the Jags defense, I was like, yep, that's who I'm getting the next game. And it's our guy, Zach Charbonnet. Right now he's around plus 200, touchdown in 3 or 4 games. I think one thing that I'm really surprised with Charbo, I know Koerner, you wouldn't be, but I guess I was the more I dug into his data, just that Kenneth Walker's only averaging like 1.2 more carries a game. Like right now, it is really a running back by committee in Seattle. And despite playing 1 less game, he still leads the Seahawks in red zone carries and nearly doubles Walker in touches inside the 10-yard line and the 5-yard line. So I think it's just a great matchup I think both of them can score, but I just think when they get inside the 10-yard line, they have shown that they're going to give Charbo the ball over Kenneth Walker. So that's who I like on the Seattle side. On the Jags side, naturally, once we got rid of the Brenton Strange issue here that happened over the weekend with him and the IR sitch, I think we got to go with Hunter Long. He's around now like plus 400. Seahawks run defense, they've just been really tough. So I'm not going to talk about how I like Travis Etienne or Trevor Lawrence again to score these touchdowns because really the passing defense has actually been where the Seahawks, I think, have struggled mostly, especially with some of the injuries that they've had. They've given up 8 passing touchdowns this year, 3 to tight ends. So right now, the backup from Brenton Strange is Hunter Long, and he's playing the second most snaps. He's running the second most routes of any Jags tight end. He's got 2 end zone targets so far. And the Seahawks as well, their defense, they play zone, the 8th highest rate. Long actually caught his only touchdown this year against zone. So when looking at the touchdown odds for this game and just the way that the data points match up, you could make a case for Johnny Munt at like 10-1. But I just think Hunter Long, when you're getting a starting tight end at 4-1, I still like those odds against a defense that I think they can score on. So Hunter Long at 4-1 and Zach Charbonnet at 2-1.
I mean, sheesh, what do you got against Brenton Strange? You just threw him aside. Yeah, he's just an issue. That's
if you were on social media at all over the weekend and just muted, all I just say is I muted the word void. I'll just say that.
Oh,
get well soon, Brenton. Though we love you.
Yes,
you should listen to the Fantasy Flex. I think that was a weekly point of discussion early in the year. It's this Charbonnet usage. I think he's the ideal. He's their ideal back. Even that Walker rushing touchdown, I want to say it was against the Steelers. It was a walk-off 3rd and 19. That it was an Amari DeMarcado touchdown. It was ridiculous. Don't even feel like you gotta it's always Charbonnet. He's always the answer to that question of who's going to score in the Seattle backfield. All right, Browns at Steelers. It doesn't look like an exciting touchdown game on paper, but I do think it presents a lot of interesting opportunities because the Steelers are coming off this bye. They kind of looked at some things and decided they want to lean more into yards after the catch and running the football and keeping Aaron Rodgers, able to get the ball out. They also might be down Calvin Austin. So I'm going to go with Darnell Washington here at 9-1. And I have to. We all have to. You know why? Because he played on 85% of the passing snaps last week. This is what Arthur Smith does. I don't think it'll be that high this week, but for a guy to have a 65% team leading route rate, you have to look at him because they just kind of been wanting to get him on the field because it's just less of a tell. Jonnu Smith and Freiermuth are kind of skew more into just pure pass catchers, so they don't usually like having both of them in their 2 tight end sets. So they're going to play a lot of 2 tight end sets, especially if Austin can't go, even 3 tight end sets. So Washington has a chance to replicate that 85% pass snap rate and that 65% route rate. He will chip a couple times and all that kind of stuff, but still I think these odds are not really pricing in what happened before the bye. And then for the Cleveland Browns, I'm actually going to talk about both of their tight ends because Fannin Jr., the Steelers, they blitz at the highest rate in the league in the red zone. Now, we don't know if the Browns are going to get in the red zone, but Dylan Gabriel did give him some life against a pretty tough defense to play against in the Vikings last week. And I think we might end up seeing something similar play out because Fannin and Njoku are just the targets when teams blitz them, especially in the red zone. Fannin's touchdown last week came on a red zone blitz, and then there were 4 targets. Njoku got 2 of them, so he got 50%. Fannin got another one, and then Isaiah Bond. So Fannin is plus 550 on DK. And then Njoku, his production went up. He's got the most targets overall against the blitz this year, in or out of the red zone, and last week as well, 5 targets against the blitz from Dylan Gabriel. So I just think that this is another one of those spots where you could see both of these guys potentially even catch a touchdown. So I don't mind parlaying them. If you go Fannin and Njoku, you could get 44-1, but individually, like these bets, I show value on both of them. So hopefully this is a big tight end touchdown game and not just a horrible divisional clash that's 7-6. So with that said, Koerner, we're back to you for an interesting matchup. Rams coming across the country to face the reeling Baltimore Ravens. Who are you looking at in this spot?
Yes, the Rams side, I'm going to have to go with Kyren Williams to not score once, but twice at plus 300. This is just a smash spot for Kyren, who faces, a Ravens defense that's dealing with a ton of injuries. Linebacker Roquan Smith yet to return to practice. Well, I haven't seen any reports today, but not looking good for him, which makes the matchup potentially even better for Kyren. But also Lamar Jackson has yet to practice. And, with Cooper Rush under center or Tyler Huntley, either way, just the Ravens offense won't be able to put up as many points and, put pressure on the opposing offense to keep throwing. So it just sets up to be a really run-heavy game script. After Corum fumbled last week, who knows if Sean McVay is going to let him touch the ball here. So Kyren could have a 20, 25-plus carry game. And he's actually scored 3 touchdowns through the air this year, which is really crazy when you consider how often, Stafford doesn't check down to his running back. So he's probably due for some positive touchdown regression running the ball. So I just think this is a spot to bet on Kyron to double dong here at plus 300. And on the other side, I have no clue. I don't think the Ravens are going to score a touchdown. I looked at defense special team.
I got him. I took him on the spread, so I hope they do.
Oh, Rams win 7-3. I'll root for that for you. But I was looking at defense special team at 5-1. I don't even like that. Again, they don't have anybody healthy on defense. Josh Carty, their Rams kicker, has perfected the knuckleball kick, so no one can return touchdowns on him. But I'm going to go with Isaiah Likely at plus 600. When in doubt, I love going with Likely here. But, their potential touchdown this week probably won't be an explosive touchdown. It'll probably be something, in the red zone where they're running heavier personnel with both Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely on the field. So I just think Likely is more likely, pun intended, to be on the field when they do score. So I think getting him at 6-1 here makes a ton of sense. Not showing value on it, if I'm being honest. But if I had to pick any Raven at price, it'd be Isaiah Likely at 6-1 here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of variance in this game too, because I heard Harbaugh saying like we might think of changing some personnel. So this is one of the spots to also watch for your like Keaton Mitchell / Rasheen Ali situation. Because I think that might actually hit this week if we're being honest. If they get
Patrick Ricard. Is our guy Patrick Ricard finally making his season debut? Because if he is, sign me up for 50-1 or whatever.
I don't think he actually exists. I think they just list him.
He's a figment of our imagination.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what personnel changes are they going to do defensively? Because it doesn't really matter. Like they're just going to allow another 40 points again this week. Like that's the thing. I don't really know what other cards.
They made a trade, Jill. First of all, second of all, they added C.J. Gardner-Johnson, so they did make some. They did make some changes.
All right. Well, I'll let Aaron Schatz know to adjust his DVOA projections then.
It's going to be like 40-7. I'm just trying to. All right, Jill.
40-7 Ravens, right? Yeah.
Ooh, I can see that. I've seen the Rams do that. Yeah.
Yeah. This time last week, they lost to the depleted Niners. So anything can happen.
Bigger favorite, right?
Yep.
Jill.
Yeah.
Cardinals at Colts. This is like the Amari Demercado revenge game, right? Like he has.
Well, I was just going to say, speaking of depleted, I can't think of a team that is more down or defeated. Like obviously they're not going to be like bottom of the luck rankings from Nick, but the Arizona Cardinals right now, it's rock bottom after what we saw last week.
Jets, Giants, Browns.
I don't know, man. There's two games like that. I think of that Panthers game where they almost coughed that up. And then last week, it's just, for me, the Cardinals are just completely in. And then also Kyler Murray right now missed some practice on Wednesday and Thursday. Not sure if he's going to play. So now we're probably going to see Jacoby Brissett play this week. So, there's 0 passing touchdowns probably coming from a Cardinal standpoint. So we're going to go with Michael Carter. We had him last week. We're going to go back to him again. He's around plus 205. Anything over plus 200, I think is fine because again, we're getting a running back 1 at plus 200 or better. So to me in that spot, that's usually an auto bet. But again, scored in week 5, played most of the snaps. Colts, to their defense, a little overrated on the run defensive standpoint because they've gotten out to these blowouts and these teams in the second half. They don't run anymore. They try to throw on them. That's why they're 4th in defensive DVOA versus the pass, but they're 16th versus the run. Now, again, a lot of this depends. Like if Kyler Murray is playing, I really like Michael Carter, but again, I'm not completely out of sorts if it's Jacoby Brissett. When I went back, like even Jacoby last year, who's never really been somebody that you would count on from a passing touchdown standpoint, 6 appearances for the Patriots last season, running back 1 scored in 4 of them, 2 passing touchdowns total in that stretch. So I don't expect a lot of downfield passes or anything like efficient in the red zone. I think the other thing too, from a Cardinals standpoint, they don't really play in blowouts. Like they've kind of been, their defense has been able to kind of keep it close. So they haven't really had any games where they're like, 10 points down. Everything has been a lot of neutral script. So I just see a lot more running coming from the Cardinals. And Michael Carter, if you can get him at 2-1, that's where we go. On the Colts side, though, I think it's Josh Downs' turn to score a touchdown this week. The Cardinals defense has actually been pretty good against the run. Not saying that Jonathan Taylor won't score, but just they're going to make it a little more difficult. But their pass defense, just very suspect. A lot of zone coverage, a lot of cover 3. Downs leads the Colts in targets per route run and yards per route run versus zone defenses. Is seeing a higher target share when facing cover 3. And Alex Pierce is expected back. Did see a full practice from him both on Wednesday and Thursday back from the concussion. And if that's the case, then you're not going to probably see much of a Donnie Mitchell or Ashton Doolin. So that means that Josh Downs will probably swallow up a little bit more of those snaps. So that is who I like. Josh Downs to get a first touchdown of the season against the Cardinals defense, and Michael Carter to keep the good vibes going for the Cardinals and hang on to the ball as he crosses the goal line.
He just threw the Cardinals under the bus. I thought the Cardinals offense was the problem. I thought the defense was holding it all together, man.
Is anybody interested in a DeMercado, AD Mitchell touchdown parlay in this game? This is the pre-celebratory.
I'm betting it on principle. I'm betting it on principle.
Yes, I looked. It's 24-1. It probably needs to be 200-1 for me to consider it, but I think you probably ask like, would score.
This is like, you have to do this here. Like, this is just it's like you don't have to tell anybody you did it, but especially anyone who bet on those guys last week or whatever. Yeah, you got to do it. You're gonna especially Gannon if you even one scores.
Gannon had to apologize. Like, he can't bench DeMercado now after what happened. He got fined. He almost has to give DeMercado more work here. Alec Pierce looks like he's going to return. So this is when AD Mitchell scores when I'm not on him. So yeah, I would do it at 24-1. Sign me up.
I put an over-under on total snaps played at 24 between those two before.
I'm hammering the under there. I'm hammering the under on that.
All right. I could kind of join you guys. I think it was the Action Playbook show and not this show, but Ashton Doolin also got a touchdown called back. So it's just So this is parlay all three of those guys together because Alec Pierce is back and he'll just catch all the long touchdowns. But honestly, that's usually the answer. It's just usually Alec Pierce. Like, who are we kidding? All right, Patriots at Saints, and I'm going right back to this guy because he just disappeared last week. I don't know where he was, but I wanted him to score a touchdown. I don't think he got a target. He was like a cardio king, and that was Austin Hooper. I'm going back to him at plus 750. Underlying metrics in terms of the usage, still exactly where we want him to be. The Patriots have kind of shifted to more of a heavy personnel team. You know, Mac Hollins and Pop Douglas just aren't getting as many snaps, and Kyle Williams isn't making up the difference either. So I think this continues. The Saints have been a bit vulnerable to opposing tight ends, and this is always when I want to, not be scared to come back to a guy when he's like, looked like a good bet, and then he's coming off like a complete shutout, just no catches. You got to look at all over the box score. You can't find them. This is the time to bet on Austin Hooper, just like Koerner was talking about with AD and Amari. So on the other side, this is going to be a little bit spicier. Devon Vele at 17-1. That's too high because last week we started to see them, cut down on Brandon Cook's playing time, and I did expect that to eventually happen, especially with Kamara kind of getting the same treatment. Those guys just don't really fit on the team if they're going to be a 1-4 Spencer Rattler team. So I think Vele continues to kind of trend up. Remember, this is the guy that they traded for, and he was already taking the few snaps that he was taking away from Cooks tended to happen in the red zone. So would not be surprised if Vele was able to get into the end zone here. And this Patriot offense, it's proven to be good enough to kind of push the issue here. And it is an indoor game. So I like Vele. I know first guy I went to look at was Taysom Hill. And he was like probably triple what his odds should have been. Like he's like plus 200 or something. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He played like 7 snaps last week. Like, oh man. So I wanted to take Taysom, but the value is on Devon Vele, which is a lot less fun unless he hits, and that's why we do it. So 17-1 for Vele, 7.5-1 for Hooper. Koerner.
Is Vele going to be a full unit from you in the app?
Everything is, yeah. The only reason I didn't do a full
unit
on Zonovan was that it was an actual hedge.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, I've been so hard on Carter this whole weekend, and I started to hear like it's very possible it's a hot hand approach. So I'm like, oh well, if it's a hot hand approach, it's not like Carter's more than 2-1. I think I got him at like plus 150, so I had to kind of do it that way. But yeah, I'm just gonna let it rip. I'm just gonna let it rip.
Why not? I have this at 9-1. It's crazy. He's 17-1. So yeah,
and there's a wide range of odds for Vele too right now, guys. Like right now, 12-1. I'm seeing a 17-1 right now. In another spot, I'm seeing 20-1 right now for Devon Vele. So again, just lots of opportunity if you think Devon Vele is. And the other thing too with the Patriots defense, you look at the touchdowns they've given up over the last few weeks. A lot of them to the slot. You know, with Tremble and Evans. Even Keon Coleman was lining up in the slot, in and out on those spots. So, again, that's where Vele usually makes his money, right, is in the slot over the middle. So,
real quick, Raybon, housekeeping note. We falsely gave Austin Hooper the Cardio King award last week. It was actually somebody on Monday night, and it might have been the guy that you were thinking. It was Noah Gray. Ran 23 routes without a target. Yeah. So he had 7 more routes than Hooper. I feel like Warren Beatty, when he gave out Moonlight for Best Picture, that was incorrect. Noah Gray was the Cardio King. Austin Hooper just had a normal 0 target game. It was Noah Gray.
Yeah, so I usually just manually enter the routes run for like those games. So yeah, I didn't realize it. But did he not get a touchdown call back or something? I feel like I saw him catch a pass and then it like didn't.
Yeah, that had to be what happened, right?
Maybe I'm thinking of the week before.
That wouldn't count as a target anyway. But yeah,
no, great. Remember when he used to be like relevant?
Yeah. 2 games last year with 2 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, I guess they'll probably get to that at some point. They got a lot going on now. They finally got receivers, so it's looking up in Kansas City. But a far less intriguing game than the Chiefs game that we'll talk about in a bit is Titans at Raiders. Koerner.
I think this game's intriguing from a touchdown value standpoint. Yep. And for the Titans side, I know you like this guy, Raybon. Gunnar Helm at plus 850. Sign me up for this because he's their 4th round pick. He's been playing behind Chig Okonkwo all season long. But last week he saw a huge jump in terms of usage with the season high 55% routes run rate. Just a tad lower than Chig, who had a 60% routes run rate. But, that's telling that they're starting to ramp up his usage, and they won. So whenever you have a losing team like this win and they have, they see what they did differently, maybe they'll see, maybe we should be running Gunnar Helm a little bit more, who had his best game by far. 4 catches, 34 yards. So his stock's going up. I think it's a good time to buy in at plus 850 before he does score his first touchdown, which could be, in the next few weeks here with this usage. You just can't bank on that many touchdowns from the Titans at this point. But Titans Raiders, who the hell knows? So give me Gunnar Helm at plus 850. On the other side, I'm going to go with another tight end here, Michael Mayer at plus 310. Looks like he's been cleared to return from his concussion. He's missed the last couple of games, which is unfortunate because Bowers missed last week. And it sounds like Bowers is more week to week. I'd be shocked if he suits up this week. So we could see Michael Mayer be the lead tight end for the Raiders. I don't see why he wouldn't be. He's a very high-end tight end prospect. His dynasty stock just took a hit just because, Brock Bowers ended up in Vegas. But, he would start for a handful of teams easily. So this is a real good spot for him to step up, be the lead tight end. So I like Michael Mayer at plus 310. And like I was saying, Chip Kelly allowed Ashton Genty to go back to his Michael Myers stance the last couple weeks. So give me a Halloween parlay with Michael Mayer and Michael Myers, Ashton Genty. I don't know if those odds pay, but nice way to kind of boost up Ashton Genty's touchdown odds, which I'm sure are minus in this spot with a Michael Mayer, Michael Myers little combo.
Yeah, I think I like the Genty call, like adding him to that because the Titans, they should have given up another touchdown. If that was the DeMercado win, they would have had a 10 in 5 games at running back. As it stands, they have 9. So yeah, Genty's probably as good a bet as ever to get in. But I like the Mayer call. You just don't know what the hell is happening in this Raider tight end room half the time. And I mean, there's just been so many odd things with the offense in general. and red zone possessions cut short, ridiculous turnovers. So I do think the Raiders at some point are going to have some touchdown regression. I hope I would think it would be this week, but I've thought that for a couple weeks now. So I'm just going to kind of lay off that. Jill, I'm excited about this game. I know it, might be some guys out on both sides, but I still always think these teams give high quality efforts and tend to be entertaining. That's the Niners and the Bucks. It looks like it's going to be just another one of these, like who's the quarterback, who's playing receiver type of games. Who you going with in this spot?
Yeah, so I guess full disclaimer, just to give a peek behind the curtain, I tried for a good 30 minutes to try to justify a long shot bet or find even a long shot bet on the Bucs side that I liked. And right now, every Bucs touchdown scorer is just shaded. Right now, Payne Durham, you can't get higher than plus 475. You can't get Sterling Shepard for better than plus 350. They got Cade Otton, who has one end zone target and maybe 5 targets total. They have him at plus 250. Like, I can't do it. So guys, I'm going to have to do it. We're doing a Mecca Ibuka. We're just taking him at plus 135 and we're moving on. All right. Because he's essentially taken over the Mike Evans role in this offense. In 2 games without Evans, 17 targets, 3 end zone targets, 2 touchdowns. The Niners are just weaker versus the pass than the run. Play a lot of zone, a lot of cover 3. Ibuka, he leads the Bucs 4 touchdowns versus zone defense. Leads the team in fantasy points per route run versus cover 3. So if you guys want to try to justify somebody down the line, I'm into it. But if I can't get somebody like Tez Johnson higher than 7-1, then I'm not gonna force it. We're gonna take Ibuka. So that's on the Bucs side. On the Niners side, I think is where there's more intrigue because of the fact that we're not really sure if Ricky Pearsall or Jawan Jennings are going to play. Now, Ricky Pearsall did miss practice Wednesday and Thursday. Jennings did come back for a limited fashion today on Thursday. But even if he does play, I think he's just going to be on a limited playing. And if that's the case, then I think we got to take DeMarcus Robinson. He's around plus 425. When they signed him in the offseason, John Lynch even mentioned that they signed him to be their wide receiver 3, and he was fully expected to take over that role after his suspension. And then obviously injuries have kind of elevated him a little bit, but 7 touchdowns last year with the Rams, one of 2 Niners to see an end zone target in that week 5 game when everybody was out, right? The other being Jake Tongas, who Sean hit for an anytime touchdown last week. So, and then also Kendrick Bourne, even though he had, 10 receptions, even he is down to like plus 250 for an anytime touchdown for odds. So, I mean, if you're going to give me DeMarcus Robinson, who I know is going to play probably 80% of snaps, as touchdown pedigree in this league at 4-1 or better, then that's who I'm going to take. So DeMarcus Robinson at plus 425, and we're going to keep it nice and safe. Emeka Ibuka at plus 140.
Yeah, I can't believe they're not even giving us Tez, because that would have been the guy that I would have thought, okay, he could be a little under the radar, but I guess he played too many snaps last week. So I like the Ibuka. I think there's a chance that Ibuka is better than Mike Evans. Like he looks so good. Like the Bucs might have hit on another one and just kind of seamlessly.
The current version of Mike Evans, or like
that's what I was.
No, like the career. Like he could have that trajectory as good as he looks in these first 5 weeks. And I mean, we've seen this before from guys like Odell Beckham who've kind of tapered off. Yeah. Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown didn't start that fast. But like I'm just saying, as of now, I have not disqualified Ibuka from better than Mike Evans Hall of Famer in my football analysis mind yet. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Think about it.
Clip that.
All right. Jesus. We got another Flacco against the Packers. We just had this. But of course the Bengals are not your average stupid team. They are, I guess the Browns are kind of rubbing off on them. So I don't know what's going on here, but maybe it'll work. It's worked before for teams for like a couple of weeks. So I'm going to just keep it simple. Jamar Chase, plus 250. When I looked at my spreadsheet, I have him at plus 200. So whatever they're doing with this trade, I think it helped. Because Jamar Chase, and maybe it's just coming off the 2 touchdown game, but you have this huge spread, 14 points. You have a total that might be selling it short a little bit, because I don't think the Packers are necessarily going to just like go in a shell and run the ball the way they have in years past. I think they're still going to try to play their game and let Jordan Love sling it. And, they'll always be able to run the ball. But I think that this total could end up, being selling them short. So I think this could be another kind of like the Lions Bengals matchup last week, where it's just a lot of points, whether it's garbage time or otherwise. So like Chase here at plus 250, show value on him. And then for the Packers, they have so many guys that are kind of similar. It's hard to pick between them, but I think the safest guy is Josh Jacobs. I'm going to go 2 touchdowns at plus 230 just because we want this is a spot when you have a big spread. You do expect the running backs to kind of get more chances, games from a game script perspective. And, Josh Jacobs has had multiple 2 touchdown games with his Green Bay Packer offense. So like him to score twice in this spot. Of course, if you're parlaying, you could still get decent odds by doing it with a single touchdown, but I tend to think those are a little bit more overpriced in the market. So give me 2 touchdowns for Jacobs, and we will get into our favorite Sunday anytime daytime touchdown parlay. But before we continue, do not forget to sign up for Action Pro for real-time pick alerts from experts like Sean Koerner, Gilles Gallant, myself, the entire Action Network squad. Plus, you can access our pro projections powered by Koerner and our predictive analytics team. Just go to actionnetwork.com/pro and get $20 off the annual subscription price with the promo code POD20. That's POD20. So don't miss out on the best bets at the best prices. Visit actionnetwork.com/pro and use promo code POD20 to get $20 off 1 year of Action Pro. All right. Before we get into our Sunday night and Monday night parlays, and there's 2 Monday night games this week, we do want to start it off with our favorite Sunday daytime anytime touchdown parlay presented by DraftKings. We'll each give our favorite player to find the end zone for this Sunday's slate. Parlay all 3 of them together over on DraftKings. Jill, I'm starting with you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Zach Charbonnet. I like him to score a touchdown against that Jaguars run defense.
I'm going to go with the guy we mentioned earlier, Ashton Genty. This Titans run defense is just, or this running back defense for the Titans with 9 touchdowns, should be 10. Just low-hanging fruit for me. So give me Genty. Koerner, where are you going?
I'm going to go with the Kyron Williams to not only score 1, but 2 touchdowns at 3-1 against this depleted Ravens defense.
All right, so you parlay Zach Charbonnet, anytime touchdown. Ashton Genty, anytime touchdown. Kyron Williams, 2 touchdowns, and you get better than 14-1 odds on DraftKings, plus 1444. That was our favorite anytime touchdown parlay presented by DraftKings. All right, let's get to Sunday night football. Schedulers, I'm not mad at them. They've consistently had these interesting matchups and kind of scattered out early enough in the year that we're still excited and still don't know exactly what's going to happen. And this is one of them, I think. Lions at Chiefs. Chiefs are a short home favorite after even off the loss against Jacksonville. Jill, I'm going to start with you first. This is a game with the highest total of the week, looks like it's still around 52.5. Where are you looking? Because there could be a lot of touchdowns if the market is correct.
Yeah, and I think we have to start with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Chiefs played a ton of man coverage right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, has graded out through 5 weeks as the best wide receiver against man coverage. So why not keep taking him in this matchup?
Love him. I mean, I don't think the coverage matters. I think he's just top 5 receiver in this league. So you don't have to tell me how they're going to cover him, because they ain't. That's the point. I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy. He's still kind of looking for that true breakout with the touchdown and all that. He's plus 135. I actually have him projected at plus 110. And the Lions are giving up, tied for the 3rd most touchdowns, 2 wide receivers. Worthy is continuing to see that high target per route rate at 26%. And he's continuing to get carries as well. And he's seeing some work down the field as well. And Thornton's kind of, drawing some coverage now too, which also helps. So a lot of things I think working in Worthy's favor, including the 52.5 points total. Can't lie though, Sean, I was about to go with the guy you're going to talk about. So I guess great minds. But tell me.
Yeah. Well, anybody that bet that I'm going to be giving out Isaac Tisla here at minus 2,000 can cash that. Boom. Because I'm going with Isaac Tisla at plus 550. I mean, heading into the season, I just want to invest in his upside, mainly his touchdown upside because he's not out there much. And he now has 2 touchdowns on 3 catches and 5 targets. I think, all 3 of his catches have been just highlight reel worthy plays. The main issue with him, obviously, is just being under, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, and Sam Laporta in the target pecking tree. Other than that, he's really good. And his main competition for the wide receiver 3, Khalif Raymond, left last week's game with an injury, and he's yet to practice. So I think this game we could see Tisla fully unleashed as their number 3 wide receiver. So even more chances for him to be out there scoring touchdowns. So give me Tisla at plus 550.
Yeah, this number could look silly because it initially sounded like Khalif was going to be okay, but now I'm not too sure. And you could get a just entire game of Tisla. That would be like a 70-80% unless they go with more Brock, right? So yeah, this could
70-80% chance that he scores. Is that where you're?
Oh, of course. I mean, obviously. It's all his touches been last touchdowns too. I almost wonder. I'm probably going to sprinkle some last touchdown with him too. Because, but I think he might get the start the way it's looking like. But for this parlay, Lions Chiefs, Amon-Ra anytime touchdown, Worthy anytime touchdown, Tisla anytime touchdown. All 3 of those together on DraftKings, 32-1. So that's a nice juicy one there. Monday Night Football, Bills at Falcons. Jill, this is an interesting one. Teams coming off these early buys tends to do a lot of good for them. But the Bills are coming off a loss, and they don't do that very often either. So it's kind of an interesting matchup. And I should point out that this is like what you're about to do is both of you guys actually. But what both of you guys are about to do is takes a lot of cojones. I'll tell everybody why after, so I won't ruin it. So Jill, start us off.
Okay, well, I didn't know taking the guy who leads the Bills in end zone targets was a far leap, I guess, but I will do that, and I will take Dalton Kincaid for an anytime touchdown. And a big reason isn't just that, is because of the defense that they're going to face against this Falcons defense, who play a ton of zone, and they're top 3 rate in cover 3. And right now, Kincaid, that's where he's been making his hay. He's actually leads the team in fantasy points per route run, has scored a touchdown against cover 3. So that's who I like against this Falcons defense.
Yeah, I'm going to go with his teammate Josh Allen, and hopefully this doesn't mess anything up because you can count on either Allen or James Cook usually to get scored on the ground. I'm going to go with Allen in this spot because if you look at just Allen's career, he has a ridiculous, just utterly absurd uptick in scoring when he goes against the NFC on the ground compared to the AFC. So I can pull this up. Josh Allen has played 84 games against AFC opponents. He has scored on the ground 39 times. Not even a half a touchdown per game. Against the NFC, he's played 32 games and scored 29 times. He's basically scoring like double the touchdowns on the ground. And it might have something to do with the fact that a lot of these NFC teams that he doesn't play very often play indoors. Josh Allen has only played 9 games in his career in a dome. He's played 101 outdoors. In those 101 games, he's run for 54 touchdowns, which is pretty good, right? In those 9 dome games, he's run for 12 touchdowns. He's averaging like 1.25 touchdowns. So this is just a spot where it's usually going to be Cook for me. He didn't come through last week, but I think this is a spot for Allen. The Falcons do play a lot of man coverage. They are a very good defense against the pass and the run. So I think Allen may have to do more of it himself. And I think teams are going to continue to try to do what the Patriots did and just, press these outside receivers and Coleman, Palmer, maybe, Curtis Samuel. And Josh Allen's just gonna be like, F it. I need to just take back control here. So going with Allen. minus 125. Koerner, who you got in this matchup?
Well, I'm curious to hear why this is a risky play. I'm guessing you're going to say because Michael Penix Jr. probably won't throw a touchdown, and you might be right, against a run funnel Bills defense, and they have arguably the best running back duo in the game. And Raheem Morris said they don't need load management. They do that in practice by just resting occasionally. But I can't wait to hear your actual reason. But I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts here at plus 350. I just think he's in the middle of a breakout season. I mean, we've been joking about this coming for years now, but I think it's happening. He's run a route on 96% of dropbacks twice this year. We never got to see that kind of usage ever until this year. And he tends to get more playing time and usage in trailing game scripts. So that could be the case here against the Bills. So I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts here at plus 350.
Yeah, and full disclosure, I show value on him as well. The reason I was laughing was because I think anyone who's like a fantasy head will get this, but the Bills and the Falcons right now are the two hands down best teams in the league in terms of limiting production to tight ends. Now a lot of it is it's opponent based, but the Bills have allowed 11 catches all year to tight ends for 113 yards, and that would usually be good enough through 5 weeks to run away with the lead. But the Falcons in 4 games have allowed 8 catches for 69 yards. So, combined, these teams don't even equal like 1 tight end. So it's funny that we're going with two, and then and then it's quarterback also. One of their quarterbacks also has to run one in, but. I like it. I feel like this is what you got to do. I don't put too much stock into early season DVP. I think the kind of the underlying scheme that Joe mentioned is a lot more relevant at this point. But it was funny. It wasn't lost on me that we both picked that we have 2 of those in our and there's bottom 2 in fantasy. But Kincaid, anytime touchdown. Allen, anytime touchdown. Pitts, anytime touchdown. 24-1 at DraftKings. The second Monday night game at the true Monday night time is Bears Commanders, a rematch of, probably my worst beat until that Rams field goal block this year with that Hail Mary, because I definitely had, I think it was Chicago money line in that spot. So don't like to think about that, but I do like to think about who you're about to give out, Joe, because this guy's been money all year.
Yeah, and I don't think that this one is unsafe at all. Rome Odunze right now at plus 175, mainly just because a lot of man coverage that they're going to see from the Commanders. I probably will be matched up with Lattimore, who I think has just been not good at all this year in his time as a Commander. So I think right now, anytime we can get Rome over plus 150, and especially in a matchup against man coverage where he has just crushed so far this year, that's who we take.
Yeah, I went to in the dock to pick Rome Odunze, I think, and saw you taken.
That beat you to the punch.
Yeah, man. But I like my guy as well. I'm gonna go with Olamide Zaccheaus here. Actually, no. Let's do it because I have 2 guys written down, and now that I see who you're going, I think this actually might be negatively correlated if I go Zaccheaus. So let me go with Krosky Merritt here because. He's even money, and I was surprised to look at my projections and have him projected for even better than that. But then I realized that he's going up against this Chicago Bear defense, and they really are looking to kind of give him that feature back role. They made him earn it, but he is a guy that he's one of the few running backs I think that can score from not just the red zone, but he's also I think going to continue to get that heavy usage that we saw last week against just a terrible Bears run defense. And you got Washington, home favorite here. Their receiving core a little bit banged up. Who knows if Daniels is truly 100% healthy? But I think we kind of saw that they could kind of hit a new gear here in terms of running the football. So give me Bill here at even money with the Bears having given up 6 touchdowns to running backs in 4 games. So that's a spot. Maybe Nick Nichols can mix in or Rodriguez too, and we still get home. But Koerner, out of respect for the guy who I like more just as a player, but I was gonna take Zaccheaus, but tell me why I shouldn't because we're gonna take somebody else instead.
Yeah, well, I went to the doc to take Roma Dunze too, or Bill Krosky, and he took them both. I guess that's what I get for checking the outline out an hour before we record. But I'm going to go with Luther Burden the third here at 6-1, and I was so close to hitting him to score the first touchdown a couple weeks ago at 50-1. He scored the second touchdown, of course, on that flea flicker. So coming out of the bye. I think Ben Johnson could get creative just in general, but especially with a rookie, Luther Burden. Raybon, I know you like taking rookies following the bye because that's their first chance to really, get a week off and see what's working, what's not, and kind of integrate them better in the offense. So this could be Burden's time to shine. I think after we saw DeAndre Swift run that fake flea flicker, they might bring back the real one this week again and throw it to Burden. Who knows? But I think Ben Johnson's going to come up with something creative here in prime time, potentially to Burden again. So I like him here at 6-1.
Yeah, no, I like it too. I was just kind of trying to go with the contrarian angle with Zacchaeus because that's what you gotta do sometimes too. But I totally agree. I think Burden probably sees an uptick, and Loveland if he's back as well. But and Mananjai, the rookie, back. So there's a lot going on there. But yeah, love me some Burden. Ended up betting on his. I think I've cashed a Burden bet the last 2 weeks before his bye, so I might have to join you on this parlay or not. But for the parlay, we got Roma Dunze, anytime touchdown from Gilles. Bill Krosky Merritt for me, and then Luther Burden the third from Koerner. So that is two rookies and a second year guy. So yeah, we're going real young in this one, and it is 23-1 on DraftKings. If you wanted to get really crazy and go Zacchaeus and Burden, which I mean that would be kind of negatively correlated, but we've seen weirder things. It would be 70-1. So just throwing that out there. A
little bit of a revenge game spot for him too, I guess.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think of that angle. All right. Well, we gotta sign out of here because we do want to see Saquon Barkley's non-revenge game, but hopefully he gets in for us on our Thursday. But as I mentioned, we'll add these to anytime touchdown parlays in the Parlay Express account in the Action app. So go follow Parlay Express if you have not already. Have some fun with us on some of these longer shots. And while you're looking at Parlay Express in the Action app, don't forget to sign up for Action Pro. It is the only way for you to get the best bets at the best prices with immediate notifications when Action Network experts post their picks. You can get $20 off right now by using promo code POD20, that's POD20, when you sign up for a year of Action Pro. And believe me, you do want those alerts because when Koerner posts a prop or Joe posts a touchdown, these lines do move. So you want to always get the best number. So be sure to turn on those alerts if you have not already. That's going to do it for our NFL Week 6 touchdown show here on the Action Network podcast, presented by DraftKings. For Sean Koerner and Gilles Gallant, I am Chris Raybon. If you want to tell some of the bets we discussed, just go find the quick slip link in the podcast and video description or visit actionnetwork.com/betnow. You can also use @playbook on X to build a bet slip. Sean is on X @the_oddsmaker. Jill is on X @GDAWG5000. And I'm Chris Raybon. You can find us at those same handles on the app. Until next time, let's get this money.